Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Baby girl, you are so pretty, 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 pretty. Females made you just to trick me, trick me, trick me, trick me. 'Cause baby girl, you are so easy, baby. The only reason that I came to tonight is 'cause I know you were invited. The only reason that this dress is skin tight is 'cause I thought that you would like it. I'm only
Welcome to Jessica Javens Talk. I am Jessica Javens, and this is season 3. If this is the first time that you're tuning in, make sure that you check out season 1 and 2. I am sure that you're going to relate to at least one of our guests because the stories are extraordinary. If not, I'm sure that you will be with the next few guests, but maybe perhaps today's guest. And I'm so thrilled to be here on this season because the guest that I have here today is extraordinary in so many different levels and been through so much that I'm sure that you're going to be at least inspired. So make sure you stick to the end with us here and that you're also sharing this with all of your friends and family so they can also benefit and get inspired. So first, I would love to welcome our guest, Tiffany Williams. Thank you so much for being in the show today.
Thank you, Jessica, so much for having me. It's such a blessing to be here.
Thank you, thank you. So let me tell you just a little bit about Tiffany. She is a powerhouse in business, a voice of transformation. That's my language, Tiffany. And a dynamic force in real estate in that industry. She is recognized in the top 1% of realtors. She built a reputation on elite negotiation skills, sharp strategy, and she has a huge heart for guiding people through some of the most important transitions in their lives. Her clients trust her, they rave about her, and refer her nonstop. She is a 5-star woman today. She's a mother, she's an executive, and co-leader of the Williams Realty Group. She is also a keynote speaker, author, transformational coach, and now appearing on the Inside Success TV. Wow, Tiffany, that's amazing. That's a very, very beautiful accomplishments that you have there. Let's start digging in. I can't wait to hear and to share this with our audience. You are in the top 1% in a high pressure male dominant industry.
Yeah.
What did you personally have to unlearn about being likable to become powerful?
Well, I can say that I'm the top 1% in my area, which does have, I'm just going to tell you, you were saying it's flooded with men. That's so true. There's actually over 20,000 realtors in the Inland Empire. So that's a lot in one area. I think it's 1 in every 3 homes is a realtor. So you can imagine the competition. But I will tell you, the true is staying true to yourself. The truth of the matter is here. And it's staying true to who you are, to know who you are, to know what your why is, to know your true north, your why, whatever you want to call it, and to live out that every day, even if you're feeling like you don't want to, you're tired, maybe you're going through some tough times, but to say yes to getting out in front of people, yes to that phone call, yes to that email response, yes to showing up for other people when the world tells you that you're tired or you're a victim or you shouldn't be doing this or your voice doesn't matter. But you'd be amazed at how if you show up, how a ripple effect carries on to generation to generation to generation, and to be a truth teller. That's what I really say is I'm a truth teller. And I think that is a really big difference because it's not in our industry. It is not for us, our company, Williams Realty Group. It's not about the quick sale. It's delayed gratification by really helping and pouring into someone and hearing their story and finding out what their goals and dreams are, and then helping them exceed it and helping them build generational wealth to make a legacy. That's what Inside Success TV, that's why they had me on there as a legacy maker, is for that exact reason.
Wow. Now, you said something that it really does not matter which industry you're in. It doesn't
Yes.
matter where you're at.
Yeah.
You need to show up.
Yes.
And the understanding of how that will cause a ripple effect after, which you don't know yet. You don't have control over that. I love pets. That's adorable.
So sorry.
I love it. I have
He
pets
likes the
too.
spotlight too.
Of course. Of course. Um, and this is something that is human. Every human being has to come to that realization. So in my mind, I'm thinking it wasn't that obvious for Tiffany all her life. So
No.
when did it become that clear for you? And what did it take you to get to that realization?
It's kind of funny. So we discussed this when we met earlier, but I'm an extrovert. I've been performing my whole life. I was a dancer, singer, did national tours, toured the whole world doing, these international tours. And I've always had the joy of getting to know people and really, really learning from people. And so for me, it was all about whenever country I was in performing, I was that person that was forming the group that was in the hotel lobby to go get to know the people of the city that we're in, to get to know the culture, to get to know just all of the diversity in the world. And I have to say, so that joy and the love of people, it just transcends everything. And people will tell me that I am that person that will motivate them to show up for themselves when they can't get motivated. I think it's just part of my DNA. It's how God created me. But I do have to say that, yeah, there's days that I don't want to do that. But the big pivotal point for me was going through a divorce, a very difficult divorce, and to really decide for myself, was I going to be a victim or was I going to be a victor?
Mm.
And I've always been an overachiever in whatever area I've put my heart and soul into. But that was the real pivotal point, to be really at the bottom, starting over at 40 and saying, okay, I've got two ways to view this world. And I'm a believer. So I prayed about it and said, what do you want me to do? And really, believe it or not, there was a pivotal point where I was sitting on my steps. This is shared in the TV show as well. And because I did the DIY divorce, I want to do it the simple way, keep the kids out of it type thing. So I was there and I was taking this, I had a $12 an hour job. I was feeling really sorry for myself. What is this huge person who's traveled the world performing, doing all these Broadway national tours and all this kind of stuff. And then there I am and starting all over again. And I was having a pity party and I literally said, Lord, this check of $100 is not going to do anything. I'm the carpool mom. I'm out of gas. I have to show up for my kids because I don't want them to see me like this. And I don't know what to do. And immediately I felt the Holy Spirit say, you need to tithe, and I am going to show you exactly how much I'm going to bless you beyond your wildest imaginations. And it was literally a few moments later that I had a phone call that said, we have a teaching position for you at this Christian school to teach musical theater to all of the kids. And it was literally seconds that it showed up. God showed up and said, here you go. Here's an opportunity to show up for others. So, yeah, that was the pivotal point where I said, okay, I need to show up, but I also need to ask. And being a believer, I know who to ask, but I also need to ask. So even if you're not a believer, you need to ask people and seek people out. And at those times when what you need to be honest.
I love that point. And especially at this stage, you went through a divorce, which I can relate. You have kids, I can relate. You're a working mom and a leader, and you're in a position of always helping and serving and doing all of that. So for you to come to a point where you need to ask, it is not always easy.
No.
It is not always easy. So working also myself with executive moms, it's very difficult for them to budge now and to come to the realization of this.
Yeah.
And it was very powerful what you said, is where you said, and you have to quote it again because I don't hear this word very often, but you said, I had to make a decision between being a victim or a
Victor.
victor.
Yes,
That is it.
that's it.
And it's not about how you feel. It's the power of making a decision. And now you decided to start acting. And one of them is you being able now to ask. That is beautiful. That
Yes.
is it's a beautiful recipe.
Yes, I definitely feel there is a time to mourn. There is a time, of course, in every situation when you're down. But it's very easy because the world and the noise around you is going to tell you that you're stuck, you're not enough, you don't deserve this, you're never going to be a great mom, you're never going to be a great wife to someone else, you're never going to have that future. But I believe that every setback is the biggest setup to the best part of your life. I believe that there is to help you rise to resilience and to restoration and to heal. Of course, again, being faith-based myself, I know who I'm turning to. But even if you're not, to do that for yourself and your community, and it does, that whole phrase, I love that it takes a village. It does. And most of the time it takes a village just to get you off the step, like myself, to get up and to, once you start one step at a time, just one step at a time. I love that phrase out there that people say, I'm sure you've heard it, is that you don't need to know the end of the road. You just need to see, like in fog, and that's what happens in our life. It's very foggy. It can get very foggy. Trying to achieve, trying to provide, all the things on the treadmill, but you just need to see, a few feet ahead of you and just keep going. Just keep going. And that has been really the moment every single time that I've sat there and said, okay, I am these little accomplishments that are fueling me to keep going and to look back and reflect on the great things. And they help me fuel me forward to not live in fear, but fuel me towards the future of the next best part of my life. And I have to tell you, it's very clear. I'm sure, like yourself, you're looking back and going, well, if that didn't happen, then I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be then there.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be in the direction that I'm going now, which
Yes.
I know for you, as we've talked, it's
Absolutely.
exactly, look at what you're doing. You're
Yeah.
making the world a better place, changing people's lives, pouring into them, helping them transform into their best self.
Yes. That was so beautiful. And you broke it down. You said, like the fog all around you, you don't have to see far. You just have to see right ahead of you, the next step. And it's one step at a time. And that's what the reality is. If you look at the real story of maybe famous people who were successful, that's how they did it too. We sometimes we tend to just see the final picture of it, but we don't know what's actually happening backstage, right?
That's right. That's
So
right.
it is the one step at a time, and sometimes you are not seeing it clearly, but that's how it is. And I love also that you said it takes a village. So you cannot think that you can do it all alone. We were not created to do it all alone. We
No, we
thrive
weren't.
when we have the right people with us, and that we attract and we want to be. So that's the way to go.
Yes.
I have my next question to you, Tiffany, is elite negotiation requires, in my mind, when I saw that, I was like, that's such a pretty way to put it. But in my mind, what did it feel like? So I thought it requires calmness
Mhm.
under pressure because you're making big negotiations, big transactions here. So while you're providing that to your clients, what happens to your nervous system and how do you regulate it?
It's very funny you say that because nobody asked that question. Such a good question because everyone's asking, wants to know what the client is feeling. So thank you. Because in elite negotiations, it is very important for me. I actually get this very calm because I'm able to step away. I take my time, number one, with the elite negotiation. I never react. I never react. I just wait, take it in, take it a 30,000 foot view, always keeping my client's best interest before me. So they're actually before me as I'm negotiating for them. Myself is completely removed in the sense of any ego, anything. But I love negotiating, by the way. And but I put that aside, especially when you're talking about really serious, some tense, really tense situations. And I put them forward, always with them driving the ship, and just give myself the time to relax and then respond. And I'm telling you, that has saved me a million times, because once you hear they have, the other side has time, and I kind of think this goes with relationships in general, because really real
Mhm.
estate is about relationships, let's be honest, and everything is about relationships. So when I help other women going through divorce, all of those things, I tell them, you don't need to respond right away. The world's going to tell you pressure right this second. You just take a moment and you'll be amazed at what the other side does. And that's powerful. It's so powerful. Just to take the time you need is probably the biggest step in negotiations, to really think it through, take a 30,000 foot view for life and also for real estate. And I'm telling you, that's what's winning, because most people just react. And it's usually, unfortunately, they make a lot of mistakes reacting. So put your client first as the vision in front of you, like the vision board,
Yes.
and their needs and their goals, because it's their goals that you're there for. And also the wins, and then take a moment.
That is a beautiful, beautiful way that you put it.
Thank you.
The fact that, number one, that you're putting your client's interests first, and if you do that with every relationship, if everybody did that, what a
Yeah.
difference!
Yeah.
Whew, huge
Yeah.
difference. And
Yeah.
then the fact that you said just to be comfortable with taking your time and not rushing, pausing, and just observe. That is very, very powerful. And you're right. We're not probably conditioned, maybe even more in this part of the world.
Yeah.
Everything needs to be now and
Yes.
rushed. So it's almost a competition of who's going to bring the best answer the fastest.
Mhm.
And in a relationship, sometimes that is too. You have that feeling, you're not even listening to it, you just feel it and you spit it out. And you just throw that out, and without even analyzing the full, not just the full picture, but the possibilities.
Right.
It's more than just a full picture. There's many
Yes.
other possibilities here, but you're discarding all of that if you're not following that. So thank you for sharing that, because you're right. Everything is relationships, and this is with every industry. And I can see how
Yes.
precious that is in your role, especially when providing this type of service, which is very high level,
Yes.
and it's a big step. Most of the time, the biggest step somebody's going to take in their lives.
Yes.
So it's very important that you do that. Now,
Well, my
many women,
husband, just one more thing there. My husband always says, this is everything I learned from watching him. And he always says, the first person to speak loses.
wow, that's
Yeah. So take that tip in whatever you're doing. So really, it's a powerful psychological tool anyway in negotiations, but and you see it all the time in movies and things like that, when you're like seeing like Lincoln Lawyer, for example, that's out there right now, and the person that takes the moment and steps back is usually the person, and then has a great response, because you're able to gather your thoughts, you're able to calm your heart, as you were saying. How does your
mhm,
body feel? How does everything feel? You're able to really get level with yourself. That's why I really do get this like peace that
mm.
passes all understanding. And it's
I
like,
love that.
yes, and it doesn't make sense to other people, because everybody else just reacts. And I say, "Whew, let's look at this from this angle." And I really telling the story, that comes from the writing background and the keynote speaking, but really telling a story to the other side of helping them see the perspective from another angle. Boy, that's amazing. It really is amazing to see that. And most realtors, because I care about that relationship too, right? I'm representing my
Mhm,
client, of course, as first, but also my reputation is on the line to have a great relationship with other realtors, because I
mhm,
want to work with really great realtors
of
out
course.
there. And I want to work with other great lenders, although my husband's the best lender on the planet, but I want to be able to. It's about relationships. And that client is for my life. I'm not,
Mhm,
it's not transactional. It's people over profit. And even on all aspects of your life, if you can really focus
mhm.
on that, I think that takes you out of it, and it just helps you to pour into the situation just so much on a higher level. And that's the elite. way is to have restraint and thoughtfulness in the story, and to explain 100% of the time. The other realtor on the other side is like, thank you so much. Also admitting when you're wrong, to be able to say, I was actually misunderstood, or I was wrong in that case, and apologizing. I can tell you, whoa, that also works very well.
Wow. That is very, very valuable. I'm taking that in, and I'm thinking how many people, I know I was like this, is very uncomfortable with quiet or silence.
Mm.
So I always had to have in my sleeves backup questions. So if there was a second of silence, I had to fill that in. It took me, and a lot of people that I know, and of course I'm multicultural. I was born and raised in a different country, so that plays a part too, because you're influenced by that.
Mhm.
Is I, like a lot of people that I know, have to always be engaging and doing something. It's almost like a serving thing that you're doing, is
Yeah.
always making sure that you're bringing something or saying something or asking
Contributing.
questions. Huh?
Always contributing. We feel
Yes.
like, I think it's a mother thing too.
Yes. Yes. And we don't realize sometimes that that is actually bringing the opposite result that we would
Exactly.
actually hope for.
Yeah.
And I had to train myself to be okay with the quiet,
Mhm. Yeah.
you know, because I wasn't. I always had to fill in.
Right. Right.
And it was exhausting.
It's
You know what I'm saying?
comforting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's exhausting.
It's totally exhausting. If you're always having to fill in, you're always having to almost quote perform. You're always having to be the driver of the ship, always having to be the controller, and the silence is actually speaks volumes to your character and your integrity if you can have restraint at certain times. So I think it's really a really beautiful thing that you came to that realization that that was something that was exhausting, and you needed it's your chance to get back to you in
Yes.
those moments.
Yes. And be comfortable with that.
Yep.
Now, Tiffany, many women want to build wealth, but they also struggle with self worth. What limiting belief about money do you think that some people need to dismantle?
Well, oh my goodness, there's so many. Probably the number one belief in about money is that they are in that consumer mindset. So they're influenced with all these like shiny things, shiny things. I have to have it. I have to have that to be beautiful. I have to have that to do to look my status. I have to have that, or I'm lacking something in myself. So that car, that home, that neighborhood. I think people really, that's one of the reasons why we are developing this app called Cash Cow is, think about it. From the first time that you learned about money was probably when you did a chore as a child, as most people do. And they learned that if I do this chore and I perform, I will be given money, and then I can buy what I need, what I want, that shiny toy or something. But they were never taught about delayed gratification. They were never taught about how to make money work for them. They were taught, as kids, we're taught how to work for your money. I'm going to right away, the first step about money is how to work for it. I'm going to do a chore and I'm going to work for it. Not at all understanding about, okay, and this is all what this app does. It empowers the parents to be able to, since everyone has a phone these days, to be able to show their children with games and certain activities, whatever their value system is, because you have to have a value system around money,
Mhm.
is to show them, look, I can tithe, I can save, I can give. So I'm going to do this, give. I'm going to be in service to do something to then earn my money. And then I'm going to then save for, maybe I'll buy this toy, but I also would like in the future to buy this maybe, or to give this. I have to give some to a charity or volunteer or church or whatever it is. And so then they get to see the blessing of that. And then in this app, they will get to do little like rewards and things with their parents. So it's neat to to see that, but we, what did we learn? We learned money is difficult. Money is only achievable if you do something. And how do you make money work for you? That is something that we are still teaching, everyone these days in our
Yeah.
business, because women, especially, you can absolutely achieve anything you want to achieve. You can be the number one first time home buyers are, women are taking over. Single women are actually taking over the real estate
Wow.
market. So, kind of crazy. Although this past year it was 40 years old. For 2025, the stats are out. It's the first time home buyers average was 40 years old, and they were men. But in overall picture, it is single women and are thriving and buying homes more than ever, but they just don't know that they can. So a lot of people think they're just stuck. So the first thing that we always teach people is find out if you can and how you can, because there's always a way. Where there's a Williams, there's a way, we say. So it may take you 2 or 3 years. But if you know your goals and you know your true north and you have goals set, and even if you don't have goals, you're just thinking about it, get in the game, start to see if this is something that you can do and how to do that, and get the path on that right direction to go take those little steps to then achieve the goal of home ownership or refinance or just building your business. All of that, just one step at a time, and you'll do it. You will absolutely do it.
Thank you for saying that. We absolutely have a power within us that most times we are not aware. We don't even know because we're so conditioned to our circumstances and just seeing what's here and what's now, and really not seeing outside of the box. And I think the way that many of us are also raised to talk about money, to see money, like you said, is not the way to build money, but it's a way to save. It's almost like the fear of loss, right?
100%.
Or you don't talk about money. I know this is funny, but I remember one time when I was a kid and we had family over and things like that, and I saw the adults talking. I wanted to be part of the conversation. I was probably 7 or 8, and they were talking about business. So I looked at this person and I learned what he did for a living for the first time. So I said, "So, how much do you make?" Oh my gosh, the whole table. You don't ask that question. Oh, I can't talk about money, man. you know?
Oh, yes, it's offensive, right? I mean, money is offensive.
Yeah.
It's very a lot of people, they're showing that they have all this money when they're in extreme amounts of debt.
Mm,
And so wealth is not how much money that what you have. It's actually this is what we always say about wealth, is that your wealth, so your income exceeds all the things that you have and exceeds the outcome, so that you can then invest in areas to grow. But that's like down the road in training. But if you can imagine, like, being wealthy is not having a lot of things and being in debt. If if your debt ratios are very low, you're probably very wealthy, even though you may be actually the average income, but you probably are very wealthy.
wow, you really open now a can of worms there. People, you're listening to this, you need to really investigate, because it is true that, like I said, there's endless possibilities. So you just need to keep going and do one step at a time, which starts with learning with experts such as Tiffany. Can you repeat the name of the app again?
Oh, Cash Cow. It's not out yet. And the book, Everything I Didn't Learn in Kindergarten, is coming out. They can check out my Instagram to look at that, but it's Cash Cow. It will be out. I didn't realize in doing all of these things, pouring into people, how sometimes this is talk about that delayed gratification. I just want to get it right. That's that elite service. I don't want to just put it out there because someone wants it. I want to make sure that it's going to be a blessing to parents and families. So the purpose of my life and the purpose behind everything I do, I'm not a perfectionist, although yes, I am, but I am working on that. But I want to make sure that it's going to be of service. So that will be coming out. If you check also my website, TiffanyWilliamsRealty.com, I will have it up there as well, and with links to those when they're out. But right now, it's all in the creation process. so much to go. I'm learning a
Yeah.
great deal, stretching.
That's beautiful. Well, but by the time the show airs, probably this is going to be out already. And this is something so much needed. Most
Yes.
people go out in the market after finishing school, still not understanding how this works. So I started learning probably in my late 30s is when I started to learn a little bit more, even though I was working in banking. So it's kind of crazy. Yeah.
Doesn't
So
surprise me.
yeah, that's right. Now, a lot of executives operate on adrenaline.
Mhm.
Have you, Tiffany, ever confused achievement with alignment?
Well, of course, when I was younger, for sure, when I was performing, it was like always about the next show, always about, you know, the outside. Absolutely. It was about, well, that's what performance is, but I was still aligned inside. So before I'd go out and perform, but behind, I remember doing Grease in Europe, and I'm standing behind the curtain, and we're all doing, I think I was Marty at the time, and we're all standing in this like triangle waiting for the curtain to come.
Uh-huh.
And Grease is the word. That particular show I was able to, they did Grease is the word. That's not normally in the musical, but in the European tour it was. And so I'd come out and I'd say, okay, let's go change some lives. Let's go change some lives. So I know my heart was aligned, but I can tell you it was still a lot about the applause. That can actually very common to take over. Also in real estate, to be, you have to humble yourself to realize, especially in those elite negotiations as well for your client, you have to humble yourself to realize that you are there for other people always. That's what life
Mm,
is about. It's not about you.
that's
So
what life is
if you
about.
want to use your life to really enjoy it and be content, try pouring into other people. That will make your life so much more fulfilling than the achievement does. The achievement goes away. It's then about the next achievement, right?
Right.
The
It's just
next
a moment
thing.
of
And
adrenaline.
it's never satisfying. If you want to live a satisfying life, you go ahead and you go serve other people. How about if you're down and out and you're feeling lonely and depressed? The worst thing you can do is to have a pity party for yourself, that victim mentality. The best thing you can do is go encourage somebody else to do better, lift them up, pour into them, take yourself out
Mm.
of it, and then pour into them. And you will then feel better about yourself. So just a little extra tidbit there.
No,
But yes, of course I was when I was younger. There was that imbalance.
right.
And now I thrive on the balance that I have in my life to say, have those boundaries, healthy boundaries, and to
Uh-huh.
be able to say, I get to pour into you, but you're not going to suck all the life out of me.
That doesn't
I
mean
have,
that. Exactly.
yeah, I need to put on my oxygen mask on the plane as well. All of that first, because I need to make sure that I am healthy and strong and providing for, my clients, my family, my children, my husband, the church, everything that I'm pouring into. I want to make sure that I have enough there to be able to do that.
That is so beautiful, and thank you so much for saying these things. We all need to know, and if you already know it, we need the reminders.
Yes, true.
Because you don't start feeling the benefits of what you just said before doing it.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
after.
Yeah.
You got to
It
take
takes
the
faith.
action. You got to, yes, faith, and you need to take the next step. So thank you
Yes.
for making that clear.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel scared?
Mm. Okay, so I'm going to admit something here. I've flown hundreds of thousands of miles on airplanes, and I don't like to fly. I
Really?
mean, you would think like, what? But I don't let that get me down. I make sure I don't let that fear paralyze me from getting to my future, to getting to the destination. So I use it to fuel me. And that's also in the book. It's on, I've been talking about this. We have a podcast as well, Real Estate Revelations. That's on Facebook, Williams Realty Group, on Wednesdays at 9:30 our time Pacific. And it's all about truth and revealing the truth about real estate and mortgages. And it's really, I will tell you that sometimes the biggest people that I talk to, the fear paralyzes them.
Yep.
They are more comfortable living in the stress of being fearful of something than the end result of getting to the destination if they face their fear. If they fear forward, you heard fall forward,
Yeah.
fear forward. So go ahead and get on that airplane, which I'm about ready to go to Florida, as we were talking about this weekend for the red carpet. And
Yes.
I will be with my white knuckles on the edges. And there's always going to be turbulence, but I have to trust at that moment. And it, of course, for me, I pray, and it will get me to my destination. It will fuel me. I'm not going to let that fear prevent me from so many opportunities that are out there. And that's the one thing I can say is I encourage all of you to, and it's not even facing the fear, because it's just saying, I'm not going to let it stop me from my future. Just fear forward.
Fear forward. Beautiful. That's something easy to remember. And we all need it because we all have our fears, different ones. But I like how the flying was actually brought the example of your destiny, you know, and it's literally your
Yes.
destiny. I
Well,
love
I
that.
tell people that in real estate. I'm like, I'm gonna every transaction. I'm like, I'm on the airplane. I'm driving the airplane, and we're going to Fiji. And on the way, there's always going to be some turbulence. There's never been an airplane ride
Mhm.
that there isn't some little bit of turbulence. But you have to trust that I'm going to drive that airplane around all, to get us to our destination on time. But sometimes we may have to go back. We may have to go back, and that's
Yes,
okay. We'll go back.
that's
We'll start
that's
over again.
okay.
Start the journey over again.
I love that. I love that. That's a big lesson in life too, to make it much more pleasurable and less suffering. It's okay.
Yes,
Let's
it's
do it
okay.
again. I
Do it
love
again.
that.
Hmm.
Before we wrap up the show, Tiffany, what is the legacy that you want to leave?
I want to leave the legacy to encourage people to know, first of all, I love the Lord with all my heart, all my mind, all my soul. And my biggest purpose on life is to serve others and make their life whatever way that I've touched their life in a way that brings them closer to the Lord, but also helps them to, if they're not believers, they're going to obviously see Jesus in me, but that they would know that there is a way to freedom. There is a way to financial freedom, emotional freedom, health freedom. There is a way. And I hope that I encouraged them along the way, like
Oh,
my children, my family, my church, all of my clients who are now, I don't call them clients because they're friends, because all of them I've either prayed with them, or it's so much bigger than that.
yeah.
And I have to tell you that it's a blessing that I get to do this, but I think it's because, again, it's not about me. It's about them. And the purpose of my life is to help make this world a better place. So that legacy is about leaving that legacy mark that people would see and say, I'm better in this world because Tiffany helped me get there.
Yes.
I'm better in this world because she taught me a lesson that I never thought about before. I'm better in this world because of knowing her. That's ego like, but I don't mean it from the ego. Like, I really want them to know I saw Jesus in Tiffany.
Yes. Of course. And God tells us to make our light shine. You don't put the light bulb underneath the seat. You put it up so it shines, right?
That's right. That's right. That whole song. Not going to hide it under a bushel. No.
Yes, yes. So, what you said just now gave me goosebumps because it is
Yeah.
such a beautiful thing. And all of us humans have the power to create a legacy, to create an impact. All of us. It doesn't
Yes.
matter where you're at, where you're tuning in, what your circumstances are, situations right now. We all have that capacity. So, thank you for inspiring us and sharing your story and how other people we're all helping each other and trying to make each other grow and getting to our purpose. That is the whole shabil, really. It is.
Yes.
So thank you, thank you, thank you. It has been an
Thank you.
honor to have you here. Tell our listeners right now how they can reach and follow Tiffany Williams.
Yes. Well, thank you. Thank you for what you're doing. I just want to say that right off the bat, because what you're doing is you're also making the world a better place. You're bringing such powerful women and people together that are changing the world for good. So whenever we can do that, it'd be a blessing. That ripple effect will carry on. And the beautiful thing about these podcasts is they will be able to be viewed over and over again by the reach of so many. And that's my prayer for you, is that this just explodes for you and beyond your wildest imagination, that your podcast would just, and your vision and all that, who you are, Jessica, will just have that huge effect and bring you so much favor and prosperity. So That being said, you could reach me you can check out Instagram, Tiffany Williams Luxury Realtor. There's also my website, tiffanywilliamsrealty.com, and you'll get to see some videos there, and you can follow there, along with all of the other things, real estate and mortgages. And then again, follow that podcast, Williams Realty Group. You actually get to see my husband. He's a huge, he's such a light. That's all I could say. Such a light, such a positive light. And we are there on Wednesdays at 9:30 a.m. with Real Estate Revelations.
That's absolutely beautiful. And that's Pacific time?
Pacific time on Facebook Live. Well, it's Facebook right now. We're working on that whole podcast, Apple, Spotify,
Yes.
but right now it's Facebook Live.
That's awesome. Is the symbol that you have right behind you
Yes.
your podcast?
So that is, and that's also with me. So that's the Williams. So everywhere we have that, this is so Tiffany Williams Luxury Real Estate. You will see the W on there, and that is our Williams. Where there's a Williams, there's a way.
I love that. I love that. It has been an honor to have you in the show.
Likewise.
Thank you so, so much. Can't wait to meet you in person when you come visit me in Florida.
Me too.
Yes, that would be awesome. You have you and your husband now, because through you're bringing him in, and this is just so beautiful to see how you are with him now and how you both are making an impact and how beautiful your relationship is. And again, another inspiration for intimate relationships around the world. So thank you for that, for sharing that with us. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes. And if you're watching this episode, you have to share it. There's so many nuggets, and probably take notes too, because there's so many. Like Tiffany said, we probably have to watch it again and again, because we can really make a difference once we have an understanding of just some basic fundamentals that we talked about here. So if you're watching, make sure you share, you click the like, and you subscribe, and follow Tiffany as well, because she has a lot more to offer you in another different diversity, and you won't regret it. So thank you for watching our show. Just a quick thank you to our sponsors, Purium, which is the ultimate life transformation company that helps you to nurture your body, detox, and reset from the cell level with superfoods, and also Forever Living, which is the best aloe vera juice in the world, the most powerful plant. They're sponsoring us today, so thank you for them. This show is brought by the I Am Beast Network. This is Jessica Javens Talk, and I'm Jessica Javens. See you on the next show.
Baby, don't you like me? Baby girl, you are so pretty, pretty.